Well, damn, Monday Night Raw ended pretty early tonight, earlier than usual. I feel like Monday Night Raw usually ends like 30 minutes after the hour, sometimes 45, but today they went about 2 hours and 15, 2 hours, 20 minutes. A little shorter than usual, but not bad, not complaining. This is the Monday Night Raw after Saturday night's main event. So the fallout from Saturday night's main event. And they did follow up on a lot of stuff that we saw this weekend, but not everything. Welcome everyone back to Snug Wrestling. My name is Edgar. I am the host. Tommy and Toxic are here. Welcome back, Toxic. Mr. Blood is out, and yeah, man, it was a action-packed episode of Monday Night Raw. It's finally starting to feel like SummerSlam season to me. Officially, as of today, seems like now things are finally moving. Now the matches are heating up more. They did a lot more angles here tonight to hype up some of the matches at SummerSlam, which I'm excited for. So we are going to be covering all of that. How are y'all feeling tonight? How y'all feeling Monday Night Raw? What'd you guys think of the show?
Um, I like the show. Before I get into that, I'm doing good. Things have been okay recently, but the show was great. There was a few parts that I just didn't really like care for, but I mean, overall, it was a good show.
Yeah, overall, the show was great. They definitely followed up, especially on Danhausen, because that man was all over this episode of Monday Night Raw. Like he had
Mm-hmm.
multiple different segments with the Judgment Day. There's a match that we'll get to where he showed up fucking twice.
Yeah.
So overall, we'll get into those. Let's get into it.
Yeah, Danhausen was all over this show. Um, so the whole time I was just thinking of Mr. Blood because he's not a Danhausen fan. So I don't think he watched Monday Night Raw. So he's probably glad he didn't watch it, or else if he was here, he would be going off on it. The fact that Danhausen was like backstage segments, he was in matches, he was interfering, he had an angle with Joe Hendry, all kinds of stuff for Danhausen on this episode of Monday Night Raw. But it started off with Monday Night Raw started off with action right off the bat. They played a little short video package for Saturday night's main event. They didn't have the usual promo that someone always comes back, starts off with, and hey, welcome to Monday Night Raw. No, they started off with the tag team match. It was exciting tag team match. It was high flying. Javon Evans, Bouncy Javon Evans, and Dragon Lee, two exciting WWE superstars on the same tag team versus the Vision. This was a non-title match. And they started off, it was a jump start. So as soon as the bell rang, Javon and Dragon Lee went on the offense and it started off hot. However, the Vision did end up getting the win. And that kind of puts a stop to what this tag team that I was really liking. Because the announcer said when this match started, if Javon and Dragon Lee win this, they could get a title shot, which I was kind of looking forward to. But that didn't really happen. Logan Paul and Maxine were out there, so they played the numbers game. This was basically a 4-on-2. The Vision defeated Javon Evans and Dragon Lee, but the Vision continued the attack, and Alpha Academy came out for the save, but the Vision shut them down real quick. So the Vision pretty much destroyed the Alpha Academy again for a second week in a row. They defeated Javon Evans and Dragon Lee and also beat the crap out of Alpha Academy. So the Vision was looking really strong as a unit as tag team champions on the opening match of Monday Night Raw.
When they were announcing this match, one, I was so hyped for it, and glad that they started off with it. But I instantly liked the energy that Javon and Dragon Lee brought to the ring and in the match. I definitely think they are two very underrated wrestlers in the ring who need to get a lot more wins in matches. But the beginning of the match went very well. It was very well put together. I just knew that I was gonna love it, and I did. Uh, I do think that Javon's showing in this match makes up for the fact that Javon lost in the gauntlet, but I hate to say that. But another thing I hate to say, but excuse me, another thing I hate to say is that Dragon Lee was the smarter option to take the pin because I mean I just don't know, they Dragon Lee and Javon barely get anything, so I don't know. That's just how I felt. But Otis and Tozawa coming out was inevitable to happen. I hope that Otis and Tozawa face at SummerSlam for the tag titles, but we are getting that match next week as it was announced near the end of the show. But
Mm.
if they do lose, they could run it back.
Yeah, this was a pretty decent match. I unfortunately feel like the right team won here because you kind of have to keep the vision strong, especially with the fact that they are champions right now. So, unfortunately, the right team did win here. But Otis, once again, proving that he's not someone to be fucked with. He's really not. Like, Otis is a one-man smashing machine when he's given the chance to. And I am super, super excited to see what Alpha Academy can do with the Vision next week. I am just severely hoping that it's not a squash match.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for the Alpha Academy, man. They've had no luck when it comes to the Vision. The past couple of weeks, the Vision has stood tall over the Alpha Academy. But I want to talk about Javon Evans a little bit more because they're starting to show like a different side of Javon Evans the last few weeks. I've noticed commentary has been putting him over as, you know, Javon Evans is being more fierce. He's being more brutal. Like he wants to, I guess, show his roughness, you know. So they're trying to make Javon Evans a more serious threat, which I think it's really good. You know, he's making like mean faces at the camera and like hulking up a lot more. So I think that's really good. Did you guys notice that too, or what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I did notice that, and I'm extremely liking it. But it also makes sense that he's like that a lot more because if you go back to when he was still in NXT but wrestling on Raw, which was in like December, I think, he was doing amazing and for not even being officially a part of Raw. But then it felt like whenever he got signed, he started losing and losing a lot more. As he posted on his Instagram, I think that he's tired of losing. So I think that makes sense for him to start acting like that, and I'm absolutely loving this side of him.
I am also severely loving this side of him, especially with the fact that I have seen how determined he is with this side of him. The last time I saw something like this in Javon Evans, it was back when him and Ethan Page were feuding on NXT, and Page fucked up Javon Evans' jaw. Like, he had to have that sucker wired shut for a bit. And right after that, he was all in on this little bit of a darker version of Javon Evans. And I haven't seen it since. And honestly, I'm happy to see it back.
Yeah, very true. I forgot about that. So yeah, we'll see what's next for Javon Evans on Monday Night Raw, especially after taking this L tonight. I want to talk about this video package that they played for Big Cass. I usually don't cover all the video packages, but I felt like this one was worth mentioning because this new video package showed a lot of images and old clips, and it's basically focusing on Big Cass and his past. Where, you know, they showed some headlines from like some articles that were talking about his attitude backstage, you know, multiple surgeries, and just a bunch of like negative press that he was getting last time he was in the WWE. So, and that gives us a little bit better idea of what we might see from Big Cass. So it looks like he's going to be, I guess they're going to probably tell the story of how much he's changed since then, how he's a new person, how he's overcame all of that from leaving WWE to like trying to correct all his wrongs and now coming back to the WWE, which is interesting to me. You know, I like when they tell a real story. Like they take real things that happen in their personal lives and they turn it into part of the show, you know, because it's real, you know, it's believable. So I'm very interested in that. The other thing too that I noticed, I don't think there was any mention of Enzo. I think one of the clips that played in the video package shows Big Cass hitting Enzo or turning on Enzo. I don't know if that was like a little like Easter egg or something that they threw in there. Did you guys see the video package? And if so, what did you guys think about that?
I saw it and I'm excited for Cass to return mainly because I haven't seen him how he is like recently in the ring because I mean I don't pay attention to AEW and I'm pretty sure that's where he's been since leaving I don't even know when. But yeah, I also agree with Snug. I like when they incorporate something that happened in a wrestler's life that negatively impact them. Like for instance, Jacob Fatu being locked up and serving time, Damian Priest living on the streets and being a quote unquote thug or something like that. But yeah, I'm in agreement that I like when they do that because it just brings something out in a story that makes it better. But I'm excited for Cass to return.
Yeah, here's my thing. Blood said it best on your one-on-one with him, which is out live everywhere you get your podcasts. He's nothing without Enzo. He's really not. They tried at one point to give him his own run when he turned on Enzo, and it wasn't over at all. He is nothing without the whole, like, my name is Enzo Amore, and I am a certified G, and that's my boy, Big Cass, and he's 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that. Like, without that, it's kind of rough to see what they can do with Big Cass, because his entire thing was all surrounded by Enzo Amore. That's the biggest thing.
Just really quick, I had to tell everyone about our friends from Distill Union. Snug Wrestling is proud to be sponsored by Distill Union. Since 2011, Distill Union has been creating essentials that prove less is really is more. They thoughtfully engineered products that are designed to solve small problems we all deal with every day, from bulky wallets to messy keys and awkward phone setups. The Wally wallets are slim, stylish, and built with innovative magnetic closures to keep your cards and cash secure without a bulk. Their Ferris modular key organizer uses magnets to keep your essentials connected in one clean, streamlined setup. Plus, their phone cases, stands, and accessories bring everyday convenience together with timeless designs. Crafted from premium full-grain leather and backed by a 3-year warranty, Distill Union products are made to last and look better over time. So head on over to distillunion.com and use promo code SNUG to get 20% off your order. That's distillunion.com, promo code SNUG for 20% off. All right, let's see what we got next after that. Oh, yes. So after the opening match and after the video package, this is where we start seeing Danhausen show up all over the place. Now, Danhausen had a match versus the Judgment Day at Saturday night's main event. And it started off backstage with the Judgment Day kind of like trying to punk Danhausen into returning their money. Apparently, it was a lot of money that Danhausen took from the Judgment Day, and they want it back. Danhausen says, "Okay, I'm gonna go get your money." He comes out to the ring with the suitcase and tells the fans, "Who wants money? I don't want the Judgment Day to have it. I'm going to give it away. Then the Judgment Day comes out. They beat up Danhausen. They take the briefcase. But Danhausen had a little backup. He had Joe Hendry this time. Last time it was the basketball player from the Knicks. But this time it was Joe Hendry.
The segment didn't really do anything for me. It was a segment. It was just to play out more into the Danhausen and Judgment Day storyline because I mean, if you think about it, the Judgment Day are the stupid ones here because what did you think Danhausen was gonna do? Yeah, he's gonna curse Obafemi. Yeah, no, he's not gonna do that. But I didn't really have any major thoughts about it. It was just a segment.
I did absolutely love this one because of the fact that he comes out and goes, "Hey, I do not want the Judgment Day to have the human monies. I want to give human monies to the Danhausens." Like that entire thing, I absolutely loved. But what I loved most, Snug, I'm not sure if you're gonna go over this, but I'm just gonna say this full out. The money ended up being fake, which I found absolutely hilarious. With the fact that, yeah, all of the human monies that they over here are trying to come after, that entire bag of money was fake, which then set up two different matches. JD McDonough with Obafemi, and then Dominic Mysterio with good old Joe Hendry.
Yeah, and we absolutely did get those matches, but yeah, that was the start of right after that. That's where we got the match between JD McDonough and Obafemi, and this was pretty much a squash match. Like I think there's a lot of confusion as to like what a squash match actually means. Like I got into like a little bit of an argument with someone on our comments the other day that were saying that Obafemi squashed Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And I'm like, no, that's not a squash match. Just because a match is 3 minutes long, it can be 30 seconds long. The time limit of a match does not mean that it's a squash match. This was a squash match. This match between Oba and JD, I don't think JD got any offense. It was just Obafemi completely destroying his opponent, like in a very dominant and convincing way. Like this was like just complete one-sided. That's a squash match. And this was basically to make Obafemi look really good before his Hell in a Cell match at SummerSlam versus Brock Lesnar. And who better than the probably one of the best bumping and selling machines in JD McDonough. Obafemi looked impressive. He looked strong. He looked threatening. And he defeated JD McDonough in like, I want to say like a minute or something like that. But yeah, this was entertaining. The people loved it. They got to see Oba. He's super over. And I thought this was great.
I had a feeling it was going to be a squash match because I mean, come on, it's Obafemi. I mean, he squashed everyone as soon as he got onto the main roster, except for Cody. That was his first match on the main roster. But anyways, but I had high hopes that JD was going to get some offense in, which he did, a few kicks, which that didn't do much for him because at Saturday night's main event, I liked his showing during his match with Danhausen. But I mean, it was obviously going to be a squash match.
Yeah, this was a squash match for sure. And here are two massive examples of what squash matches are. You've got this here with Obafemi and good old JD McDonald's. And then you've also got the one that we all know, Kofi Kingston versus Brock Lesnar, where he lost that sucker in 16 seconds. If that. Those are squash matches. Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania was not a fucking squash match. But let's be honest here. When this match was first announced, let's be honest, nobody here thought, hey, the human-sized bobblehead is totally gonna be Obafemi. Like, no, it wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, again, a squash match to me, from what I understand, in my time in watching wrestling, it's if you go out there, you have the guy who you're trying to put over, and then you put him versus like some local guy or some indie guy where you know right off the bat, okay, this is going to be a foregone conclusion. We all know who's winning, and the other guy doesn't get no offense at all whatsoever. It's just the guy that we're all there to see. He just, I don't know, he beats him really quickly, but the other guy gets no offense. That to me, that's what a squash match is. And that's pretty much what happened here with Obafemi and JD McDonough. All right, after that, we had Solo Sikoa showed up on Monday Night Raw again, and he hijacks the show. And oddly enough, I wasn't sure what he was going to do, what he was going to say, but he calls out Seth Rollins. Huh? Okay, that's kind of confusing. And Seth Rollins wastes no time. His music plays right away. Almost like as if Seth Rollins knew Solo Sikoa was going to show up randomly on Monday Night Raw and call him out. So out comes Seth Rollins. And Solo's like, hey, I got a proposition for you. I know what the Bloodline has planned for you. I know how they function. I know how they're thinking. I know what they're going to do. And I want to have your back at SummerSlam, right? And Seth is like, okay, you bring up some good points, but let me think about it. And Solo gets upset. He's like, yo, there's nothing to think about. Then Jacob Fatu comes out. Solo runs away. Seth and Jacob are left in the ring, in the middle of the ring. And Seth Rollins hits Jacob Fatu with the super kick. So now the things between the Bloodline and Seth Rollins are finally starting to pick up. Now we're finally starting to see the other faction members get involved with Seth Rollins, which that's what I want to see. I think that'll help build up the match at SummerSlam between Seth and Roman. And now we're seeing more tension with Seth and the Bloodline.
I really didn't have any major thoughts on this. I thought it was great for both of the storylines, being Seth and Roman and the entire Usos and Jacob Fatu versus Royce Keys, LA Knight, and Solo Sikoa. But I thought it was great for both of the stories to mainly set up war games. I started thinking to myself the entire time, who would be like fifth members for war games? I know that this has nothing to do with war games, but this is just what I was thinking. But actually, I'm gonna save this thought for SummerSlam predictions because it's actually an interesting thought.
So this segment was great. Here's my problem. I had a massive confusion from the start of the show. Hey, Adam Pearce, I thought Seth Rollins was going to start off the broadcast. Because that's exactly what Adam Pearce said when he was going through what we would see tonight. He said that Seth freaking Rollins was going to start off the broadcast. And yet here he is, like an hour and a half in.
I did see that too. You're right.
That was really my biggest problem, is the fact that Seth wasn't there at the beginning of the show, like Adam Pearce stated.
Yep, that's true. Good point. It was advertised that Seth Rollins was going to start off the show, but I mean, this worked too. I liked how they started off with the tag team match instead. I wonder why that didn't happen. I don't think we'll ever find out, unfortunately. Maybe Seth Rollins had, I don't know, some trouble getting to the arena on time or something, or maybe they just decided Well, let's put it here. You said it was an hour and a half in, Tommy?
Around that, yeah.
Okay.
This was like middle of the show.
Okay. Yeah. I liked because this was right after the Danhausen thing. Yeah. I mean, I can't think of why they would do that, but I think it worked out. I think it worked out good for the pacing of the show, at least. All right, then we had another tag team match. We had Penta and Chad Gable, they're going to face each other at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental Championship. They teamed up versus Rusev and Ethan Page. So right now, Chad Gable and Penta, they're teaming together. They worked well together, and they got the win over Ethan and Rusev. So they're tag teaming for tonight, but pretty soon they're going to be opponents at SummerSlam. And I thought this was, again, a nice way to heat up their match for SummerSlam. Let's put them in a tag team together at first, kind of like, what they did with Punk and Cody Rhodes. But I thought this was a great tag team match.
I'm sorry, I completely blanked out. But I'm kind of getting sick of Rusev and Ethan tagging against a combo of Penta, Chad Gable, Dragon Lee, or Javon. Not that I don't like their tag matches. I mean, it feels repetitive. Like I already know how it's gonna play out, so why would I be interested in this match? But I knew that this was mainly to hype up Chad Gable and Penta's match at SummerSlam, which it's going to be such a great match. But I thought this match was okay.
I actually had a lot of fun with this. It was a very decent match. But the thing is, you had to keep Penta and Chad Gable strong for their IC title next weekend. So it was basically a foregone conclusion to me that Penta and Chad Gable were going to win. Because, like I just said, you have to keep them strong if they're having a title match, like literally in like a week.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we see Danhausen again. This was the second match that was set up in the opening segment. Um, it was Dominic Mysterio and Joe Hendry one-on-one. And it started off good. It started off as a one-on-one. And then Liv Morgan started interfering in the match. And that's when things got crazy. Danhausen comes out, tries to curse Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan slaps Danhausen before Danhausen can curse her. And then we go to commercial break. We come back from commercial break, and Danhausen comes out riding his little Danhausen mobile with Io Sky, Liv Morgan's opponent at SummerSlam. Io Sky takes out Liv Morgan. The referee gets distracted while Liv Morgan is being taken out by Io Sky. And Danhausen hits what Michael Cole called the DDD, the triple D, the Danhausen death drop on Dominic Mysterio. And Joe Hendry takes advantage. And Joe Hendry defeats Dominic Mysterio thanks to Danhausen.
I really like this match. I think that they're showing off Joe Hendry amazingly because at one point he was the most over thing in TNA. But Liv is just so goddamn annoying. Like I know that's the point of her character, but my God, can you not like interfere every 5 seconds? You're ringside in a match that someone in the Judgment Day is in, and also I think Danhausen and Joe Hendry being paired up just for this story is great because it's clear that Danhausen isn't done with the Judgment Day and Joe is just getting started with the Judgment Day. So because we saw Io Sky come out with Danhausen, I can see next week during Danhausen and Joe Hendry's concert, because that was announced for next week. During that, the Judgment Day comes out, uh, ready to have a match, like JD McDonough, Dominic Mysterio, and Liv Morgan. So I think we see a mixed tag team match next week after the concert. Joe Hendry, Danhausen, and Io Sky versus JD, Dom, and Liv. But I mean, maybe I'm just getting my hopes up, and it's just going to be a normal concert. I hope not. I hope we get that match because that sounds like a great match.
I completely forgot this match was happening, and it was announced an hour before it happened. That's my biggest thing with it, is I just completely forgot. But this match overall was pretty damn good for me forgetting it. But overall, Danhausen getting involved and bringing in Io Sky, fantastic spot. I feel bad for the cameraman, though. Man ended up bumping into Io Sky all of a sudden while Io was trying to attack Liv. So that happened. But we have our finished SummerSlam card, unless they randomly decide to add 2 more. The final match for SummerSlam will be Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio. So he's clearly going through the Judgment Day one by one. We'll see how this goes.
Is that official? Did they announce that?
Yes, they did in fact announce that. Like, it was closer to the end of the show, but they did announce it.
Okay. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be more matches added because it's a 2-night event. So they're going to have at least, what, 8 or 10 matches at least?
We're already at 8.
Okay, so maybe like 2 more, I'm thinking. Or did they say that was the final match?
They didn't say that was. They didn't say that was the final match. Plus, we have like 2 SmackDowns left to go and 1 Raw. So I can definitely see us getting like 1 or 2 more matches added.
Okay. All right. And then the main event was LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. Before the match, LA Knight cut a promo on Solo Sikoa, who is supposed to be LA Knight's tag team partner at SummerSlam in the 6-man tag team match. But LA Knight explained that he's not a fan of Solo Sikoa offering to help Seth Rollins to watch his back at SummerSlam. Apparently, LA Knight still has beef with Seth Rollins because he's like, hey, how am I supposed to trust Solo Sikoa? He's supposed to be my tag team partner at SummerSlam. But he's over there offering his help to Seth Rollins? What the hell is that about? So LA Knight was not happy about that. He goes one-on-one versus a pissed-off Jacob Fatu, who ate a super kick from Seth Rollins earlier in the night. And they have a damn good match. They have a hard-hitting match. 2 heavyweights in the WWE. Yeah, it was really good. And then it turned into a complete brawl-out situation. Jimmy Uso showed up. Solo Sikoa showed up. Royce Key showed up. Jey Uso returned. And in the mix of everyone just fighting each other, Jacob Fatu still manages to get the win on LA Knight. Hits his big moonsault on LA Knight. 1, 2, 3. And they keep fighting. All 6 of these men are going to face each other at SummerSlam, 6-man tag team match. It was cool to see Jey Uso back, but the Bloodline stood tall tonight. Jimmy, Jay, and Jacob beat the living crap out of LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Solo Sikoa to end off the Monday Night Raw of tonight, April 20th. The Bloodline's looking really good, heading to SummerSlam.
I say this is definitely match of the night. I think there's 3 matches in contender for that. This one, Dom and Joe, and the tag match to kick off the show. But I like this match. Their match they had against each other last time was great, which I'm pretty sure that was WrestleMania 41. But in this match, I realized that LA is more than likely thinking smart. I don't know if this is for certain what they were thinking when making this match, but LA started targeting specific areas on Jacob, like his leg when he slammed it against the ring post. So maybe Fatu has a problem with that at SummerSlam, even though we're like a week or two away from SummerSlam. But I think that Jacob was also playing that game because he started going for LA's back. So I think they're both like trying to take each other out of that match. Like I said, even though we have like a week or two before SummerSlam, but I think doing that it has Royce Keys and Solo and the Usos to rely on each other in that match. But I'm glad Jay is back. It's always good to see Jay on TV. But regardless, I thought this was an amazing match, and their match at SummerSlam will be just as good of a match as this one was.
Yeah, this was 100% match of the night. It was a phenomenal match. And usually I use this word to describe NXT. This time I'm going to use it to describe this match. It was chaotic as all hell. It really was. Between Jimmy getting involved, Jay getting involved, Royce, Solo, the entire group was there. All 6 of them. And right at the end, they just went on attacking. It was absolutely chaotic, and it was chaotic in the best way possible. Now, I don't think this is ending at SummerSlam. I really don't, because I called this last week. I said it last week, and I will gladly say it again. This is screaming War Games to me. It's absolutely just screaming War Games. I feel like this is around the time where they start building up to that a little bit, just to fully get there and to fully make the teams there and make sure there's a story involved. This is right here. If this is not the War Games match, then I don't know what is.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely feels that way for sure. But at least for now, it's starting to feel like SummerSlam season is heating up, so that's always exciting. We'll see what happens on Friday Night SmackDown. We also got NXT coming up tomorrow. We did a predictions on the card for tomorrow night for NXT as well. And we might have a special guest for the review this week for NXT. So that should be exciting. I'm also excited for Friday Night SmackDown to see if they add a couple more matches for SummerSlam. So a lot of cool stuff happening on the WWE as well as here in Snug Wrestling. And that was Monday Night Raw. We will be back very, very soon. And Tommy, if you will, take us home.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was this Monday Night Raw review episode of Snug Wrestling. You can catch us every Monday for Monday Night Raw, Wednesday for next day reviews for NXT, and now every Sunday for Friday Night SmackDown. Mark your calendars as well for next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, as not only will you be getting an NXT review, but you will also be getting the predictions for Saturday night's main event. And that following Sunday, we will be going through Saturday night's main event. So mark your calendars on that. Go get your merch. That is at tpublic.com/snug_wrestling. That is TEEpublic.com/snug_wrestling. Stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug and toxic. That was one time. For the one time I said I was. 4 letters.
4 letters.
1 word.
1 word.
Yeet.
Yeet.